Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Keeneland Racecourse here on Friday. It is the 14th of April, 2023. Gonna look at the stakes races on the program from Keeneland, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5 for more selections for race courses around the world. And remember to go check out tomorrow my Grand National preview from Aintree. It's going to be an excellent card there and Grand National, so I hope you check that out. And also remember to join me for my Keeneland preview tomorrow. You know, the Jenny Wiley at Lexington, some of my favorite races of the meeting here at Keeneland. But my favorite race of the meeting here at Keeneland is today, and that is the Maker's Mark Mile. It always shows up as a great race, so we're going to look at that and the Limestone Sprint. So races 7 and 9. Let's get to it right now, starting off with the 7th race from Keeneland, which is the Limestone Stakes. It's going for a $250,000 purse, race for 3-year-old fillies. Field of a dozen horses heading to the turf course. The distance of ground here of 1,100 meters, or the distance of ground of 5.5 furlongs on the Keeneland turf course. 1,100 meters, 5.5 furlongs here in the Limestone. My top selection, I'm going to go with the number 3 horse here, Love Reigns. 311-2-4 for me in the superfecta. 311-2-4 super. Top selection of 3 horse, Love Reigns. 3 are filled by U.S. Navy flag. Wesley Ward trains 1 for Strone Street. Joel Rosario gets them out. Joel Rosario is having a little bit of a slow year so far. You know, he's only striking at 10% with 227 offerings. 23 victories to his name this year. But here at Keeneland so far in the first week, 18-1. But I think he's going to pick it up, especially when he gets back here to New York with all those abundance of turf races, which I can't wait for Belmont. But they ran Love Reigns most recently the 4th of November here at Keeneland, 5.5 in the Brewers Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint, where she finished 8th by 9.25 lengths that day, where she was stupidly wide, which probably cost her. She also got beat by better horses. You know, as the favorite, you know, just never really got there. Refreshing to the 3-year-old campaign, back to the home track. Training well. I think she could get a better trip and win. 2 back at Saratoga, 5.5 on the in the Bolton Landing Stakes, 21st of August. She won by 2.25 lengths that day. She just stalked a little bit wide, but when she had the turn of foot, she won quite nicely. A very, very good run. Coming home with a career best 89 buyer. By the way, I've been looking at a lot of Saratoga replays the last week and a half or so, it seems, and it's getting me excited for Saratoga also. So I can't wait for that. But before the Bolton Landing, the horse ran the Group 2 Queen Mary at Royal Ascot, 5 furlongs, 15th of June. She finished 4th by 3 lengths that day, and she just kind of hit the wall late. She set the pace, but, not keeping up late. She got beat by slightly better horses on the day, and then main special weight late April here at Keeneland, 5.5 on the lawn. She won by 9.75 lengths, and basically, she broke it after. She broke the race after the first 200 yards. After that, she took off clear. She didn't break so clearly, but after that, 5 furlongs from home, the race was over. You cashed your tickets at 2-1. Go collect your $7 or so. But this horse, $6. This horse really took off clear there. Coming home with an 82 buyer, which is quite impressive for an early season 2-year-old race. Training well here at Keeneland. It wouldn't surprise me here. It wouldn't surprise me if the stablemate Lady Hollywood gets the job done for Wesley Ward and John Velazquez. Most recently under the care of Alice Haynes here at Keeneland in the Brewers Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint. She finished 5th by 6 lengths that day, and she just kind of stalked. She kind of hung a little bit late. Also, she didn't have the best beginnings, but she ran her heart out there. Prior to that, in the Group 3 Prix d'Arenberg at Longchamp, 5 furlongs soft ground the 1st of September. She won by 1.75 lengths, and she stalked. She had the lead, and she got the job. Done a very, very good race for her there. And in the Group 2 Lowther Stakes at York during the Ebor meeting, she finished 11th by 5.5 lengths that day, and she just kind of hit the wall. I thought they just were flying that day in that race, which probably cost her, but she should go up a lot with the firm ground. I hope Johnny gets good position with her early on. At 15-1, watch out for her late to possibly upset, and also give a shot to the 2 horse My Sweet Affair. I love the victory at Gulfstream in March last month here, where she came back with the 70 buyer. Not the fastest race, but she showed a lot of potential. The workouts at Palm Beach haven't been half bad at all. Watch out for this horse today. Like I said, her debut victory was very, very nicely done. But to recount my selection for the 7 from Keeneland, it is the Limestone Stakes. Let's take the number 3 horse Love Reigns as a top selection. Give kudos to 11 horse Lady Hollywood and the 2 horse My Sweet Affair. 311-2-4 super, 311-2 in your multi-race. Head over to race number 9 now, my favorite race of the Keeneland Spring Meeting. If not at Keeneland in general, the 9th race, it is the Maker's Mark Mile. It's a grade 1 event going for a $600,000 purse, race for 4-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 8 horses going to the Keeneland Turf Course, the distance of ground of 1,600 meters, or the distance of ground of 1 mile on the Keeneland Turf Course. 1,600 meters, 1 mile here in the Maker's Mark. My top selection here, I'm going to go with the number 7 horse here, Modern Games. 7241 for me in the superfecta. 7241 super. Top selection 7 horse, Modern Games. 4 Colt by Dubawi. Charlie Outby trains. William Buick comes over to ride this horse. Very early run to the States for William Buick and Godolphin. But, if they're going to come over this early, that means they're going to be coming over quite a few times this season, which I like. I like when the European horses come to the States. And this horse loves come to the States. He's 3 for 3 on the side of the Atlantic. Most recently, the Bruce Cup Mile here, Keeneland, 1 mile the 5th of November. He won by 3/4 length. Kind of digressed from his previous races, but he still got the job done. He had a horrible race that they had a trouble trip, stupidly wide, but he got there in the nick of time, coming home with a 104 buyer. Not his best race lifetime, not his, but he still got the job done. And a little bit more impressive is his first race. His previous race was 3 weeks prior in the UK at Ascot, on soft ground, 1 mile in the Q2 Cup. He finished second by 1/4 lengths that day, and he just kind of stalked and never quickened up. He's not a lover of soft ground. He likes the American fast ground that he's been seeing quite a bit here on this side of the Atlantic. And then up north across the border at Woodbine, 1 mile in the Woodbine Mile. He probably ran the race of his life. I believe it was the highest buyer speed figure for a turf horse in 2022. Woodbine Mile, winning by 5 1/4 lengths. He was stupidly wide, but that turn of foot coming home that day, 112 buyer, very, very good run. Second place finisher, Ivar, is a great miler. He kept placing, never winning, but he's always come back with triple digit buyers, so he's a fast horse also. And then prior to that 27th of July at Glorious Goodwood and the Group 1 Sussex Stakes, over the mile, first time facing older horses, he finished second by 1 1/4 lengths, and he placed behind Baaid, who's probably the best miler in 2022, and if not the world. This horse just kind of stalked him, got close to him late, but Baaid had the jump on this one. He was also giving Baaid about 8 pounds in the handicap that day. And then before that, Deauville on soft ground in the Group 1 Parisian Prat. Like I said, he's not a lover of soft ground. He finished 5th by 1/2 lengths that day, and he just kind of stalked, and his wheels were spinning that day. Same for the Prix de Jockey Club. He finished 3rd by 5 1/4 lengths that day, and he just stalked, and he just never had the turn of foot. Maybe the trip was a little bit too long, but I do think he could get a 1.25-mile trip as the season gets on if they want to run him, say, in the Jubline International. He seems like the kind of horse that could win it, I think, in York in August. But coming here today, I'm going to give him a shot. He could definitely win. A bit of an upset would be the 2 horse Up to the Mark for Tom Pletcher and Ira Ortiz Jr. He's only making his 3rd start on turf and first start against stakes quality horses, but his turf races weren't bad at all. Most recently, the 4th March at Gulfstream, mile 16th and op 6-2. He won by 1 1/4 lengths, closing up from nowhere that day, a little bit wide from an inside post drop. He took off clear. That was a very, very exciting run for him, coming home with a 93 buyer. Prior to that, Pegasus Day at Gulfstream, 1 mile and option 25. First start on turf, won by 4 lengths. Again, a little bit of a trouble trip from a wide poster, but he got clear late, and he upsetted that day, 12-1. A very, very good going away victory. And late December at Aqueduct, 1 mile in a lounge race, 90,000 on the turf. He finished 4th by 9 lengths that day. He just was wide, never keeping up. Before that, 7 furlongs on the dirt at Aqueduct, he wasn't keeping up, and then going a mile and 8th. His dirt races were a little subpar, but since taking him to the green stuff, he's really become a lot better horse. He's a horse, if he runs well today, even if he doesn't win, if he places, I would like to see what he does next start out. 10-1, I'm going to use him on the ticket as a small upsetter here. Might play a small win place on him also, depending on his odds, but he could definitely win here. I'm going to use him on the ticket. But to recount my selection for the 9th from Keeneland now, it's the Grade 1 Maker's Mark Mile. We're going to take the 7 horse Modern Games, give kudos to the 2 horse here, Up to the Mark. 7-2-4-1 Super, 7-2 in the multi-race. So good luck to all. Please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5. Good luck, everybody.